morning, everyone. As you can see, we have another very cloudy day here. We had close to an inch of rain yesterday afternoon, early evening, and it's very humid and not drying out here right now. You know, one of the things we have to consider as we go into hurricane season, tropical storm season, and yeah, they're talking about this thing out in the Atlantic, you know, it's always a concern is how wet is the ground before we get any wind. So if the ground's really dry, not this summer, there's less worry. If the ground's really wet and the wind comes and it just brings the big trees out of the ground by the root ball. So surely, hopefully, we're not in that situation this year. I'm watching the Hummer down there. That's great. I'll put new water out tomorrow. Hopefully it's still okay today. Hi, Stripe. Hi, bud. Yep, you heard your mama talking. Hey, bud. Hi. I need to move my tripod back out of the way. I won't be around to run the camera today. But I don't want to scare you. And it's not really a problem where it is. Hey, sweetheart. Hi. Hello. Hi. You good girl? Yeah, it's a good girl. Morris, hey buddy. Hi, I heard you meowing. Mom stopped for a minute to watch the hummingbird. He was on the salvia. Good morning. Come on up, bud. Come on. Come on. There you go. Hang on. There's one. There you go. Hi. Hi, bud. Oh, you're a little wet. Not a lot wet. Just a little wet. There you go. Stripey! I'm sure he'll come around from the front yard here in a minute. Looked out and the Hummer was all on these flowers over here. It was really fun. He hovered for a long time. Had I had my camera, I probably could have got a shot. It was that, he was there that long. I would have had a lot of opportunities. We headed up to South Park for our walk, but Don's got a conference call where he really needs to be able to see a screen and hear well. So between that and the fact that it's actually, for a little bit, it had started raining harder again, we came back home. I'll head out of here in about 20 minutes. Guess if I was real industrious, I'd walk the driveway a couple of times, but then the cats follow me down there, and I don't want them to do that today. But speaking of kitties, where are kitties? I don't see kitties. Well, as you can see, it's not clearing out here. It's raining. It's cloudy. It's 77 according to Ruby, so it's also not very warm. I am on my way to the chiropractor. I started editing yesterday's video, and therefore I used up all of my spare time. And now I'm going to get there if I'm lucky right on time. I left Stripe and Marty asleep on the love seat. They were lying. Well, Stripe was lying next to me getting his belly rubbed while I edited. And then Marty, who likes to be bossy and is an attention hog, came over and half laid on top of Stripe. And Stripe don't move for Marty. Everybody else gets out of Marty's way, but Marty knows he can only just get away with but so much with Stripe. And anyway, he did settle down next to Stripe, so they were asleep. Don will let them out if they decide they want to go. But they were really cute. In Tesla news this week, I saw a post from Kyle that he was in Austin taking robo-taxi rides. He had said he was going to do that. I have not had a chance to watch any of those videos yet. He's been sounding a lot more positive on FSD lately, and I've been liking that. Just leave that there. I already had a robot pass me here on the back road this morning. When I say a robot, I mean a Juniper Y and Quicksilver. I didn't get a chance to study the seat color of the wheels to see if it was an identical twin, but it was definitely a robot. I guess I gotta admit that I really don't understand what happened with Dojo this week. I don't know if I'm, as a Tesla fangirl and a shareholder, I don't know if I'm supposed to be relieved, upset, or somewhere in the middle. And there's such a merging, gelling, overlap between the Tesla community and the X community as far as AI and chips and data centers and stuff that for me, it's a little blurred between what goes on with Grok and what goes on with the in-car stuff. And I know there was some discussion a while ago about them merging or one buying the other or something like that. It was even going to be a stockholder vote on it, I guess, maybe. But anyway, I saw all that stuff in the news this week, and most of the time I understand the news, and I did read what Elon said, and I'm still a little slightly perplexed about it, but hopefully it all works out in the end, and it's not like I expect every R&D investment to come out, to work, to end up being a solution or a money maker. I mean, I know there's a lot more R&D that goes on than actually winds up being stuff, so we should never expect that it's a 1-for-1 investment return or 1-for-2 investment and lots of return. It doesn't always work out that way. But probably don't leave a comment and try to explain, because I'll probably still be confused, but you can, and I'll read it. I will. So here's one for you. There have been a couple of posts in one of the Fuquay Facebook groups. Let's just assume it was the ladies of Fuquay Marina, that they're super annoyed by people turning on their flashers when there's heavy rain. So they're emergency hazard lights, whatever you call them in your part of the country. Blinkers, whatever. I've been out on North Carolina highways, and it's been torrential downpouring rain, and I have definitely seen people put their flashers on. And I'm sure on occasion or two I have put mine on as well. And I think the general thought process is, well, first off, if everybody else has got theirs on, maybe I should put mine on too. And surely it helps other people on the road see. Because, we've had all over the country, not just in North Carolina, we have had a lot of flash flooding here in the last 2 or 3 months. We've had a good amount of rain, extra rain in some areas, and we've definitely had hydroplaning on the road and standing water and all these things. And while it's coming down and causing those situations, of course, we've had really difficult driving conditions, right? And you can argue you should pull off when it's like that. And sure, if you've got advance notice and you're near an exit and you're not on your way to a doctor's appointment, pull over and wait for the torrential rain to pass. I've certainly done that during my driving time too. But sometimes you're stuck out there and you don't really get to pull over, and you keep going. So I guess it's not recommended to turn them on, and some drivers feel it's very distracting and blinding, and they also feel like it doesn't help to see the other cars on the highway better. So I've definitely heard that loud and clear from the ladies of Fuquay Marina group. I don't know that I can either take it or leave it. I'm often sensitive to flashing and bright lights, but that has never, I guess, in particular bothered me. I would say sometimes the strobe lights on the new, more modern lights on some of these tow trucks I find to be a little more concerning than car flashers out on the interstate in the rain. But I don't know. What do people do in your state or your country or your part of the world? Do you think it's helpful or not helpful? Do you have a strong feeling about it, or just, you know, take it or leave it, deal with it sort of an attitude? That's kind of where I am. It doesn't upset me, but I get the point that it does upset some. After reading these two posts, and I guess police don't recommend it, and it can even be against the law in some places, I probably wouldn't do it again. But I don't know. I'm just curious. It's 10:58, so I'm good. None of the close parking spaces were available that I like, so I parked far away, which is probably the right answer today. And you know what? For 77 degrees out here, it feels much warmer because the darn humidity is so high today. It will be a disaster if the sun actually comes out. Alright, I'm all pulsed up. I may have had a little 10-minute cat nap there at the end, which is always a good thing. Very stress reducing. Gonna head over to Guardian Angel now. I did get a message that it was raining at the house enough to make Tempest let me know. That is one of the benefits of having the, you know, Wi-Fi enabled weather station, is I get alerts like that. Anyway, I was just gonna say that, you know, if I don't have to walk in the rain to get into Guardian Angel and in and out of Whole Foods, that'll be a plus. I think I need to get, maybe I need to get pork rinds today. Need to go over to Food Lion. Well, we've got a train up ahead, and this time there's not even enough room for me to go straight across. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure there's a way around, but I'm not sure what all my options are. Here's the Iona Rechargery. I'm always this close to it. Wow, it's I guess it's busier than I would have thought it would have been today. I'll figure out how to get back to Guardian Angel. It looks like it's fixing to pour, so parking quickly and getting inside would be good. Dawn said it seriously poured at the house. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to be able to get across. There's room for me there if somebody doesn't turn before I turn. I'll just put myself in line and wait. I didn't end up having to wait too long, just a couple of minutes. And you know, this isn't going around out of my way very far. It's no big deal. One more stoplight up. I was reading another post on Facebook, and somebody said my AC's out and I've got to get a new unit, and they're quoting me XYZ amount for something tons, and it seems awfully expensive to me, and help, I need, you know, reputable companies. Well, yes, definitely get a second and maybe a third quote, but remember that sometimes you get quoted apples and oranges, and what seems cheaper may not be better, I guess. Somebody can put in an inefficient unit that's going to cost you more on your electric bill, but it'll be cheaper to start with, and it'll seem like a good thing. There's more considerations than, you know, just the absolute cost of the unit. That's all I'm saying. I've been listening to Dawn too long. Well, I am going to get inside before it pours, so that's nice. It's raining, but it's not raining much. That is a pretty big bag of gray Lego, but and it does look like it's almost all real Lego, but yeah, I probably don't need that. Probably not. Don will be pleased. I got him his pork rinds. This is how humid it is today. We can write on stuff. Hi. I got this bin of Legos. It's in this gasket controlled, air sealed container. It's not a lot. It's a, well, you can't see in there right now. It's a friend set, but all the minifigures and extra stuff is there. It might actually be 2 friend sets. Yeah, so I got a little bit. It's not raining and I need lots of steps today, so I'm definitely doing the right thing and pushing this little cart back. Don't get these little carts. Every time I get one of them, I swear I'll never get one again because I hit my shin with it. So what did I do? I got it again today and I hit my shin with it. I hate these little carts for that reason. They look so inviting when you only need just a few items and then you hurt yourself on them. Every single time for me. I guess I'm just not learning properly. There are no cart returns on this side of the parking lot, so it's like Harris Teeter over in Fuquay. If you park far away from Harris Teeter, there's no way to return your cart without really taking a little walk back. So as I walked around GA, there were 2 other 35 pounds each bins of Lego. Definitely right up my alley, right? The more, the better. However, they weren't super new Lego, and there was a couple that were dirty, but the reason why I left them, because it was really all Lego, and it was well less than the going price for Lego on Facebook Marketplace or the used market, was that someone had taken the time to sort by color. You know, you saw that big bag of the light bluish gray, and it was split between 2 bins. So like all the white was in one bin with some maybe girl color stuff underneath, and then all the dark bluish gray was in another bin with blues and greens underneath. So what that means is if there were any sets there, they would not be in the same bin. So you'd basically have to get both bins. And I didn't want both bins. That's, 70 pounds of Legos, 2 huge storage things. It was the right price and the right amount of Lego, but not the right Lego today. So I left it. I suspect it might still be there next week, although it was pretty cheap. Some kid's gonna beg their mama for that. I just know it. So I might reconsider, but at least this week I didn't bring it home. We got to get Johnny's stuff out of the house. Where was I going to put that bin, while I sorted? I had a Century event. I figured it was probably just me. Sometimes it's just me, right? And a gentleman in a huge van come and parked next to Ruby. I guess this side. And no, it had to be this side. So I'm trying to understand, because there's no parking spot there. There's no parking spot there. It's just the grid lines. And I'm parked farther toward the grid lines. He parked there. And then, well, maybe it's the other side. Anyway, he didn't hit Ruby, but he was parked awfully close. And, I parked over here away from everybody so I wouldn't have to worry about that. And then they just search you. I swear they just search you out. Yeah, I get it now. He was on my left side and he got out of the driver's door, which is what confused me, but he pulled in from this direction. He came through and he parked. So he was sort of toward the back of the car. There's an accident up here. Somebody was backing out while somebody else came around the corner and they hit. It's a good bit of damage to the driver's side door of the car that came around the corner. I guess, if you're halfway backed out of your parking space and somebody comes flying around the corner and you hit them, I guess it's the fault of the person that came flying around the corner. Or is this some rule, I think, that if you're in reverse, it's automatically your fault? Well, let's just say I think the person that came around the corner could have prevented the accident had they been paying attention to what they were doing, whether it's their fault or technically or not, because, they have the whole view in front of them and the person backing up can only see snippets at a time, and people backing up need grace. This is why I try not to back. This is why I try not to back out of spaces. But you got to be careful backing in too. Anyway, I'm sorry those ladies hit each other in the food line. That's, Not a good day when it happens. It's not the worst day, but it's not a good day. Feel for him. I missed the rain coming out of Guardian Angel. You know, it was dark off in the distance, but it didn't actually rain there. There's a Rivian. But this looks like there's still rain all around. I guess it's just a day for a lot of Teslas. That was an older Model S, and here's another. Just looking at the chrome. Well, this is fun. I had just engaged autopilot. So I looked on Tempest, and at the house, as of an hour ago, we had 4.5 inches of rain in August. That is our average August rainfall, or even a tad high for August for us. So less than halfway through the month, the full month's worth of rain already. And that's just at our house, because we know that downtown Raleigh and Cary and points a little west, they're well over 10 inches of rain for the month of August already. So this goes back to what I was saying about worrying about how wet the ground is in case we have any rain from any tropical systems. I want the space weather news guy to be wrong. He thought an incoming sunspot might help steer the hurricane that's out there in the Atlantic more west than north, which is bad for us. Although Kat Campbell on WRAL was thinking the current models were showing it going northerly inside the NHS cone. So, you know, time will tell. It's too early to know if it's going to affect us or not, but we're certainly watching it. I guess today was the average peak activity day for hurricanes in the Atlantic Basin, which is about right. Somewhere between the middle of August and the middle of September when we see the most activity, at least here in North Carolina. So, I don't know. There's a lot of rain out there. Okay, we don't need more rain. Well, it stopped raining here at the house, and you can see just exactly how much water is moving through the intermittent creek right now. So there's the 3 shepherd's pies pieces, slabs packed up for Johnny for dinners at school or lunch. You know, we had ordered, I think it was a box of 50 of these that we thought would be a lifetime supply. Maybe not with a kid in college. But anyway, they work out really good. They say they're microwave safe. I mean, I don't like eating out of plastic, but I'm sure Johnny will just pop it in there and it'll be good to go and easy for them, and Mom feels good and he's excited about it. He wants the food. I'm not forcing my emotions on him by sending food with him. He actually was like, can you make some of that to send with me? He's used to me showing up or sending him home after vacation or a long weekend. So anyway, that's boxed up. The rain did stop here pretty good. I mean, it's not clearing by any stretch, and all of the groceries are inside and put away, and I visited with cats and talked with Don and Johnny for a bit and just, you know, doing mom stuff now. Boy, those yellow plants out there are looking pretty. I am spending a few minutes working on the Grand Hotel before I start dinner. I edited yesterday's video, and Don's off work now and looking at his eyelids for a few minutes, so I'd like to get the front facade on. I won't get to any of the detail on the rooftop, and I'm also making sure I want to do it the way he did it. I did get a good bit of the front facade done. I need to find a couple of 1x6 navy blue. I'll hunt upstairs maybe after dinner. has fresh cut little cherry tomatoes in it. Mine has some cabbage, and Johnny's has mushrooms. Johnny's got more soft shells. All three of his are in, or theirs are in soft shells. Don has one soft shell, and I don't have a soft shell. I did make a little cheese sauce to go on top. Probably not necessary for mine and Don's, but the flour ones needed it.